We have big updates regarding the Epstein files as there is now political pressure being given from Donald Trump's executive branch to keep the files from being released. Why hide them? Thomas Massie, a Republican, is now saying that Republicans are being threatened by Trump. Here's what he had to say.
Have you heard if what those survivors said today changed any other House Republicans' minds? Has anyone else said that they are willing to sign on to this?
Well, I've talked to a few of them, and they were compelled in our direction. But there's an immense pressure campaign from the White House on Republican members right now. So I really think you got to give some credit to the three Republican women, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, and Nancy Mace, who, in spite of all the threats from the White House, which are still continuing, went and did the right thing.
Look, I don't want to give anyone flowers where they're undue. I think a lot of what Nancy Mace and Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene stand for, a lot of the divisive rhetoric, the fear-mongering, the space lasers, the crazy, crazy shit out there. But credit where it's due, that they've got bigger balls than any of the men that are in the Republican Party right now, because they are the only ones that are standing up for the victims and want these files released. What the fuck are they possibly hiding that they don't want out there? If it's not a big deal, let it be released.
Standing up for women by standing up for this resolution.
What do those threats look like? What kind of pressure campaign are we talking about here?
Well, I'm feeling it myself in my own district. There's been $2.5 million of ads run against me by three billionaires who are mega donors to the Republican Party. And one of them's actually, I'm not going to say on Epstein's list, but he's in Epstein's black book. So I've been taking the brunt of that myself. I think what's being run against me is a threat to other Republicans to try to keep them from doing what I'm doing.
And again, this political pressure, like you're going to lose your job if you do the right thing, it's ridiculous. And they're probably going to lose their job by not releasing the files. Now, they're claiming, well, the files are being released in a different way, so we don't need to sign this. Let them be released in 15 different ways. Here's Megyn Kelly discussing this Epstein files dump, which 99% of the files that were released recently were files that already existed.
As the House Oversight Committee releases tens of thousands of documents related to the case, but is there anything new in these documents that they received from the DOJ? Let me just start by saying this. I've got my doubts. This is the House Oversight Committee subpoenaing the DOJ, and neither of these groups has any motivation, any real interest in doing anything to upset Donald Trump, who wants this thing over. So to me, I've got to be honest, it seems like fig leaf-a-mania by everyone other than that Massie Ro Khanna effort, which is a separate thing. So you've got the House Oversight Committee.
So they're dribbling out saying, oh, no, we're complying, when they're not complying at all. Again, here's what Thomas Massie had to say about Donald Trump personally sabotaging the release. Again, said this morning. This is the biggest conspiracy of our times, the biggest government cover-up, possibly in the history of the United States. And audiences, left and right, politically, are not buying it.
But you're confident you'll get the signatures?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's a strong effort from the White House. They are literally calling it a hostile act to sign this discharge petition now. And I don't know if that's precedented in this country to have a president call legislators to say that they're engaged in a hostile act.
And what is a hostile act? Is Trump trying to say that these legislators are possibly committing treason? If it's hostile to the goodwill of the country, then does Trump then have the right to have them arrested? Now, of course, the answer is no, this is ridiculous. But this is the type of rhetoric coming from the White House, a hostile act. For 2 weeks, and again, this isn't a conspiracy, this is the truth. For 2 weeks, the FBI assigned 1,000 people to try to find Trump's name in the Epstein files and possibly have it redacted, removed?
For 2 weeks in late March, the FBI assigned approximately 1,000 personnel in its Information Management Division and hundreds of additional agents from the New York field office to work 24-hour shifts to review and produce more Epstein documents. These officials were told to, quote, flag any records in which President Trump was mentioned. Essentially, agents were pulled out of their field from their work combating narcotics and violent crime to review this mountain of documents.
So just remember, is this an administration working for the people or to protect their dictator, their commander-in-chief? Honestly, yeah, this Epstein case, which again has hundreds of victims that have not even been contacted by the Department of Justice, which might involve folks that are in the Democratic Party too. I don't care. I don't care if it's Bill Clinton. I don't care who it is on the list here who needs to pay a price. They all got to go. They all have to be exposed. Here is a moment when Epstein survivors were speaking and the White House sent jets at 800 feet. They did this multiple times. I believe their excuse was that it was a flyover that was being done for the president of Poland or whoever was, coming by. So they did this plane flyover, which, costs, something like $50 million an hour in jet fuel. I mean, what do these numbers mean anymore, right? We're spending $250 million to build an alligator tent that then gets shut down a week later, a detention facility. And here's the moment that these women, these survivors, are again attempted to have them silenced. And these jets didn't fly over once; they flew over multiple times.
Of Justice telling me that this was going to happen when it had already happened. This woman abused children.
So there it is, flyovers at 800 feet, and they pause. And honestly, does this administration think we're fucking dumb? I think the answer is yes. I think Trump believes this situation will go away. It's not going away, partly because he created a monster of conspiracy theorists that think there's something greater to the story, but also because there is more to the story. If there wasn't, he would just release the dang files. There is several bipartisan efforts that we need to applaud that are going on, one of which is the release of the Epstein files. You have Democrats and Republicans coming together. And here we have Chip Roy and AOC coming together to create a bill to ban congressional stock trading. Now, why is this important? Because getting money out of politics in any way possible will maintain a little bit of trust with an audience, a constituent of people who now currently feel like their politicians aren't working for them, and they're not wrong.
It is time for the leadership of Congress on both sides of the aisle to do what the American people have been demanding, which is to end day trading by members of Congress. They do not send us here to enrich ourselves while we are voting on the issues. They send us here to fix and address, and then have members who are trading stocks on the very issues they're supposed to be voting on.
Yeah, and it's so easy. Join the rest of us who put money into the S&P 500, right? You want to support your country? Put your money into a mutual fund that does well when all of the businesses do well, right? So it's such a simple idea. And people will say, well, but the Democrats make money off of stock trading too. Yes, you're right, and they shouldn't. And until these laws are passed, I have vowed that I won't be voting for anybody who takes dark money. I won't be voting for anybody who takes super PAC money, lobbyist money, anybody who doesn't immediately put their money into mutual funds and gets it out of the stock market. This is what you sign up for. And again, do you guys remember Rick Scott from last week? The guy's worth $600 million. He's worth $600 million. And he says, well, I deserve the right to make a livelihood in the stock market. No, you don't. You forfeit that right when you start working for the American people. And laws need to be put in place to make sure that that is what happens. When we talk about revolutions that are happening across the world, we're seeing one in our country take place as people are rejecting the abuse of power. And we're also seeing this take place as people are rejecting what is now a full-blown genocide happening in Gaza. It has been ruled that by many organizations. It officially is a genocide. You might have thought it was one 2 years ago. It is one now. It is an abuse of power. There are too many innocent lives that are being killed. Well, now there's a fleet of steadfastness sets sail from Barcelona, depending on how Catalonian you want to be, to Gaza to break the siege. This came out yesterday. Today, from the port of Barcelona, the fleet of Steadfastness set sail, consisting of around 70 ships and boats, with the participation of activists and supporters from all over the world, in an international move aimed at breaking the siege imposed on the Gaza Strip. And it's like, look, okay, you want to fight a war, you want to get your hostages back. I absolutely empathize with that. All hostages should be returned. It's an atrocity that's going on, and this is not a criticism of the Israeli people. It is of the Israeli government. I have to say this every time because those that want to spin this will immediately call somebody anti-Semitic, and I think that's probably what led to people kind of sitting on their hands for so long and not addressing this issue. In quotes here, they wanted to destroy the Palestinian people so the whole world became Palestinian. It is a deep-rooted war that has gone on for decades, and the solution is not just taking over the Palestinian land. Obviously, we've seen that that's not going to work. Any amount of them trying to eradicate Hamas has just led to more people getting radicalized, and the hatred for both sides can only go away through prosperity. It can only go away through prosperity. And the fact that the world is coming together with a magnifying glass on the people of Palestine, the Palestinians, this is humanity saying we will not stand and idly by as we see the starvation of innocent lives. That is a war crime. Plain and simple. No other way around it. It is a war crime. Lastly, this is the type of garbage that exists out there. Tucker Carlson claims that Pete Buttigieg isn't gay. What?
It's happening around the country. I'll give you a Pete Buttigieg. I don't know Pete Buttigieg.
The fake gay guy?
I have a friend who thinks he's a fake gay. Or is his favorite
my gay producer was always like, he's not gay.
There's a gay measuring contest. How gay are you?
I was with a girl like 20 minutes ago, and like he wants to be the Democratic nominee. It's like time for a gay guy.
It's playing the long game. I mean, that's
there it is. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and everything to Tucker Carlson's a conspiracy. Hey, broken clocks are right twice a day. What's interesting with this is the fucking bravado that they feel like they need to have. Can you hear how they have their bass turned up on their microphones? I've got the same microphone they have, but you see this all the time with right-leaning radio where they turn up the bass. I don't know if you guys can hear the difference.
Look.
Well, it's suffering for your art. I'll say that.
Maybe it's just I have a good ear for these types of things. I have a big ear for these things. But either way, I just find it such bravado here. Oh, he's not gay. You're be more gay. It's like you're not the perfect gay for Tucker Carlson. Boo the fuck who? What are we talking about? Either way, those are all your stories from today. We'll be back in the morning as we are every day, twice a day. We'll see you then. I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.